Hello everyone and welcome to another our first V29 standard exhibition mat. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today, and today we have an awesome race by In the Name of DT versus Felix TC. As our two racers for today, my name is Sakura Subasa, and joining me today on commentary is the great Alucard.
Hello, hello! Excited to be here. V29 is coming, guys, and I'm excited about it. There's a lot of amazing changes in this version, and we're going to be showcasing many of them here today, including some pretty awesome sprites that we have here already on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two of our new sprites being featured. The blue heart containers as well. That's another new feature. But of course, most importantly, everybody wants to know what is the new standard mode that everybody has been talking about recently. So, for those of you who are unaware, on the new website that's going to be coming out, mode is no longer going to be a randomizer setting that you can select. So instead,
away the mode.
they took away standard and open mode. Rip those. Instead, though, it's been split into two new settings. So the first setting that we have is going to be the state of the game. So there's two different states, and this is where you're now going to see standard and open. So standard is going to be where you rescue Zelda, you go through the escape in order to end the rain state, and then open, of course, where you start in Link's house or the sanctuary, and the rain state has already ended. Now the second setting is what is really making the difference here. So your second setting is going to be how your swords are going to be distributed. So the first setting is Uncle Assured, and so that's where Uncle will always have a sword, and the other three swords are randomized. The second one is where is called Randomized, where all four swords are randomized, and that's the one that you're going to be seeing today. And then the last one, of course, is Swordless, where, of course, there are no swords. So, with the introduction of this new different types of settings, there's now there's a couple of new combinations that you can do, but the one that we're showcasing today is the standard randomized swords seed. So this allows the uncle to give a weapon to clear the escape other than a sword. You have about, I think it's 7 different options on what you can get from the uncle. You can get the sword again, you can get the hammer, a bow plus max arrow refill, bombs plus max bomb refill, fire rod plus max magic refill, and either the Cane of Samaria or Cane of Burna with the max magic refill. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two runners get as their uncle item. So
yeah, that's like one of the most exciting parts of standard is the beginning of the game really changes. Like I felt like maybe towards the end of the last spring tournament, everybody was like, this is a kind of predictable thing. And then they came out with open mode, and open mode made a splash where it's like you can go anywhere. But now you're kind of combining the two, and you can kind of get different items at the start and explore the game in different ways, and have to tackle, challenges in different ways because you have these different weapons that you have to go through escape with. So I think it's a really cool balance between the two modes.
And of course, the best thing about standard mode is the uncle text. Come on, hands down, the uncle text is the best thing about standard mode. So
it's back, folks. Yep.
Love the uncle text. It's one of my favorite parts of this. Seriously, it's the greatest. So we're going to get to see, of course, the uncle text, the rain sequence, and again, we'll get to see what these two runners get as their uncle item. So this kind of brings a refresh to, of course, the standard mode. So
yeah, and what's great about it is it also allows newer players to still have a good experience, there's still the Uncle Assured option for the swords, and so you can still kind of play very nicely, a very simple seed. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue Zelda? Apparently, that's what we're dealing with here.
Ooh, and already getting the blue mail, showcasing our new sprites in different colors. So the cursor sprite, which is the one that In the Name of DT is currently using, that one actually doesn't have any difference that happens when you pick up a mail upgrade. Felix using the manga link, which is both these sprites are going to be available in version 29. This one does in fact get a little bit of a color change, so that nice dark blue as an option there.
Whoa, and the hammer!
That's actually a really nice one to find there. That's a lot of damage right off the bat.
Yeah, that's tempered sword damage already, and there's an 8 bomb drop for In the Name of DT right away.
Getting
very
some
convenient.
Alright, and looks like Felix, unfortunately, not so lucky, not getting that bomb upgrade, so...
Oh, he did get the 8 as well.
Oh, he did! Okay,
yeah.
I'm just blind. We did get a map check for In the Name of DT. So we have crystal, red crystal at Eastern, blue crystal at Hera, and I believe it was a red pendant that was at Desert Palace.
That's right. And so with Hammer, I mean, these guys are just going to make quick work of this escape. We see Felix grabbing a couple extra hearts here. Not a bad plan, but you can just one-shot all the guards in Hyrule Castle with the Hammer.
Oh yeah, easily.
These guys are going to be jetting through here quick. You can already see them.
And again, with the standard mode, the one thing you got to keep in mind is as you're going through the escape sequence, there is those chests in the last part. There are those 3 chests that's in the last part of escape. So these players finding bombs so early, it actually is quite a relief for them that they're not going to have to farm bombs along the way to get access to that. Because potentially having to go back through here is a bit of a pain in the butt later on. Oh,
it really is. You will be able to go back in here if you find the glove or if you just go through the main entrance. But that's very time-consuming, so certainly nice to see. And hopefully we'll see something good out of that, too.
Yeah, exactly. So both our runners coming up towards Zelda's cell here. With the hammer, it's a little bit difficult. There we go. To line up from underneath. The hammer's hitbox is a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, so, you can see DT having a little bit of trouble there, needing to grab some extra hearts. And Felix now taking over the lead just a little bit here. Who will win the race to the Sanctuary?
Alright, so these players are neck and neck still, and you'll see it's pretty standard, haha, in standard mode for both racers to kind of be neck and neck at this point. It's really the decisions that they make once they leave this place. Do they go straight to Kakariko, Houlihan? There's a bunch of different options that they can do.
Yeah, Hammer doesn't really unlock anything immediately, but if we do find something in the back of Escape, then, that may determine their route. Like, if they find Magic Powder, they could do Magic Bat immediately. Maybe that puts Kakariko on their mind, but with 8 bombs and Hammer, you can go do Mini Moldworm Cave, so we could see either of these players go to South Shore. There's a lot of options here.
Yeah, Mini Moldworm Cave with Hammer is, ugh. Not my favorite thing, definitely. Those mini Moldworms move at such ridiculous angles sometimes. Getting a hit on them with Hammer is just no fun.
But with 8 bombs, that's kind of like a backup strat that you can use in that area. Heck, 9 bombs for Felix there. Getting a lucky drop off the snakes. guys have to watch their health, though. You can see they're really not used to having hammer in this part of the game. So, you know, with only 3 hearts, you're taking some damage. Fortunately, they got that blue tunic, or they may have taken a death here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of the challenge of this new mode.
So both picking up the key from the rat here. They're going to be moving into the 3 chests in the back of Escape here. So we're going to get to see if there's any major items here.
Got 50 in a map and a full heart's not bad, but nothing really required.
Nope.
Yeah, and as Problems IRL is noting in the chat, in V29, you have the option to change your heart color as well. You can see up there in the upper right, we have blue hearts today, and this was really done as an effort to help colorblind people, because we have options for red, which is, you know, vanilla, blue, green, and yellow. So that's going to be pretty sweet for V29, or if you just want to play your favorite color, now you get to do that.
Exactly. All right, so both the runners out of Sanctuary now into the world. Looks like DT is heading up towards the Lumberjack Cave / Lost Woods. And same with Felix.
Yeah, following the same route there. Seems pretty good.
Yep, with not anything significant in the Sanctuary or in, of course, Escape. They're going to kind of want to clear or take a look at as much as possible.
Because there's get as much information as you can.
Yeah. There's still quite a bit of items, obviously, that they need to find. Having the hammer is a nice touch at the beginning. I have to say that the hammer is definitely one of the better items to get. Because it does so much damage in comparison to some of the other stuff.
But it actually might be one of the trickiest items to control.
That is correct.
Sometimes the hitbox can really be tricky. I mean, if you got the blue cane, you have to worry about your magic. But, you know, you're invincible, basically, as long as you have magic. But with hammer, it's a lot harder. I mean, you got to really be focused and hit your targets.
So, nothing in the Lost Woods. We had a full heart container and 10 arrows. So, still looking for anything, pretty much, to help for Dark World access or dungeon completion.
Yeah, but we have all of Kakariko now. We can see that it's already 8 minutes in, but most of that is the escape. So get used to this standard time for getting to Kakariko now, because, you know, we've been used to open mode tournaments and such for a while.
So we got some rupees, some arrows, a heart piece, and another heart piece. Wow!
Lots of love and lots of money. Love and money.
And more love.
Alright, hopefully the well will have something a little more interesting that may create some route divergences here.
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, they have enough money to check the bottle vendor, but they are very close to getting enough rupees for Zora as well.
They really are. Like, it could be worth doing, like, Houlihan or something just to get that over the top, but okay, there's even more money here in the well.
Goodness gracious! Somebody left their entire fortune behind in the well here. I mean, maybe it's one of those luck wells. You just throw your rupees in the well, and I guess somebody collects them.
Ones.
Yeah, somebody collects them at the bottom, puts them in a chest. So still nothing. 20 rupees from the bottle vendor. We're going into the chicken hut here, and 5 arrow upgrade. Goodness.
We might see DT buy some bombs here. He's running a little low. But it looks like he's going to the back of the tavern first. The flute!
There we go.
Wow.
There's something that gives us, if we find the mirror or the hook shot, we could get access to Tower of Hera.
Absolutely. But at the very least, that does get access to a few items up on Death Mountain. If they want to do some dark rooms for Old Man, and they can go up to Spectacle Rock, check out what's there. It's not a lot, but something.
It's definitely convenient to find the flute here, though, because you're able to just activate it immediately. And once you're done checking the maze game, the library, you're able to just flute right on over to the dam and head and do those locations as well as Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, and you can even flute over to see what's on Desert Ledge, or go to Agnes Cave, Ice Rod Cave. It's just so nice early on. I always find it interesting to think about locations like, you know, Old Man in the Dark or Spectacle Rock before you consider even doing, before you even consider doing like South Shore, because that can like be a huge route divergence that can pay off. But looks like we're looking for some boots, Sakura.
Yep, looks like we're gonna get boots before we get Dark World access. So
very cool.
Yeah, early boot seed confirmed. So looks like just a heart piece on the ledge there at Desert. We're gonna go check Agina's cave here.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. You can make some gambles like this when you have the flute to get some good traversal.
Oh, and
through the world.
Felix, going to the dam, actually picked up one of the new items that are in the pools here in this new version. So because the new mode allows for 10 bombs to be received from the uncle, those 10 bombs are randomized into the item pool. So Felix picked up those 10 bombs. There's only one of them in the entire game now. So
not only that, he just picked up the lamp outside the dam. So that old man's becoming a little more interesting. And potentially Eastern Palace.
Yep, that's true too. So Mini Moldorm Cave, we're starting to get some items, so this is nice for the runners. I'm thinking maybe some boots in Eastern Palace, maybe something good there.
That could be pretty fun. I mean, we got 5 items in Mini Moldorm coming up here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see like a sword or I don't know, something here.
Ooh, but silver arrows.
Not bad.
And
the hook shot. Wow. So maybe Hera's really the play.
Yeah. Death Mountain, fully accessible at this point. At least the light Death Mountain. So Felix looks like he's going to be heading over to Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, I think with Flute early on, like checking these locations is pretty easy just to get a couple quick items. Not a bad idea.
So using the hook shot to attempt to get rid of these crabs. Even with Blue Mail, early on, these guys can be a little bit tricky. You don't want to be taking too much damage from them.
We can see DT having a little trouble here in Mini Moldorm, down to 1 heart, but he manages to make it there with the final bomb.
Yeah, those Mini Moldorms are no joke with Hammer. Like, the hitbox on them is just unreal.
And they move so erratically, and like they knock you into the pit, no matter what mail you have, will always do 1 heart of damage.
So Felix, heading up Death Mountain, going to take your advice to go pick up the old man in the cave here.
Yeah, you get the flute, you get the lamp. It's kind of pointing you in that direction. You got hookshot and hammer to go up to Hera, like you said.
Or
I think that might be a decent play.
Basement in Tower of Hera. Come on, you got the lamp. Oh, DT taking the death.
Oh no. This isn't too costly because he does have the flute, but it is gonna take up a little bit of time. Give Felix a chance to pull ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking that that the basement in Hera is the play. You have to maybe get the big key there or something of significance to move a little forward. Maybe the boots? Huh?
Sounds lovely. if you like tile rooms, folks, this is the place for you.
So just arrow upgrade on the ledge there. And 5 rupees. Oh boy, more rupees.
Exciting. But we got, all of Paradox Cave, we got Spiral, we've got Hera. Still a lot more up here on Death Mountain. It looks like DT's making that same play.
Yep. And we did get to see, with the cursor sprite death, we did get to see the death animation, which was, in fact, the blue screen of death.
That's right. So good.
It's definitely... one of my favorite things about the new releases is definitely the sprites. Being able to go through them and just take a look at those animations. The sprite devs put a lot of work into these, and they're all very excellent quality.
A horde of bombs there at the bottom of Paradox.
So we're gonna get to see here 5 chests here. Something good. Hopefully, the sword.
That's a good start, and a shield to go with it.
It's got the Uncle Starter Pack and the red mail. Wow.
Too kind. And I think you're right. Felix is gonna be heading up to Hera.
Yep, and
Hera is a crystal too, so I mean, there's not really any time lost in checking this location because you're getting, progress out of it.
Yeah, DT's heading over to Paradox Cave as well, so he's going to be picking up the sword and the shield and the red mail as well. So Felix checking what's on the floating island here. Looks like just bombs. This is seed. We've seen a lot of bombs in this seed.
Yeah, lots and lots of bombs floating around. We even had the 10 bomb.
Yep.
Now, one tricky thing is we're leaving behind the ether tablet here, so if we don't find the book for a while, that could be kind of an out-of-the-way location. Especially if, like, the mirror is there or something weird.
Looks like basement might be coming true.
Only a map there.
It's gotta be a key of some kind, either small or big key. No, it's the big key.
Well, that doesn't rule out the basement, but there's hope for Felix, and less hope for us, I suppose. Very nice bomb jump from In the Name of DT there. Cut in a little corner.
So DT is going to be checking the floating island as well, seeing the bombs, and heading straight over to Hera. So I think both these runners, once they're done, are going to head over back to Spiral Cave and check that before saving and quitting.
Ooh, there's the compass. So that means there is an item in the basement, because we still have to find the small key. And there's going to be one more item as well.
Potentially. Oh, Felix, unfortunately, missing the bomb jump is going to fall down 2 floors. It's going to give DT a little bit of time to catch up here. But interestingly enough, in, I believe it was version 28, they made a change where the keys can actually be locked in key locations like that. So the basement in Hera could have the small key even.
We'll see if these guys are lucky enough for that to happen. DT is catching up. That fall, 2-story fall, definitely cost Felix there a little bit, but he's setting up again. It's looking good.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
And there's the key, so guess we're probably going to the basement at this point.
I wonder if, like, it's so early on, this is one of the only locations you have access to. Do you check basement or do you leave it behind? I wonder what.
I think you have to. I think you have to. Even if you get boots at Moldorm, I think you have to. Like, it's so early, you don't want to leave things unchecked.
Yeah, especially picking up the lamp super early. You've got to wonder if the seed is trying to point you in a specific direction. Oh no, Felix taking the fall to Moldorm.
Oh no. These guys are pretty neck and neck now.
Nice bumper movements by In the Name of DT, pushing him a little bit closer to the door there. So with Hammer, 3 hits to Moldorm's tail here. Gonna make this a nice quick fight.
Yep, that'll do it for Felix, and DT's soon to follow here.
Yep.
There it is! Oh, there are the boots! Whoa! An amazing prize, but I still think you check the basement. We need gloves to actually get into the Dark World, or a sword upgrade, or the cape to get through Aga Tower. So I think you still got to check the basement here.
Yep.
And it looks like Felix is going for it.
And so is DT. This is really close. Both of them neck and neck.
And you got to think also, DT has also checked Agnes Cave as well. So he has at least a little bit more knowledge than Felix and knows about the Desert Ledge.
Yep. So this is our waiting room, basically, in the Tower of Hera, Hyrule's greatest hotel.
Yeah, how you doing, Sakura? Doing well?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah.
That's good. Yep.
It's a good time to catch up, you know?
It is. It really is. It's the perfect moment. Oh, back to the race. These runners.
Oh, yeah, okay.
These runners now going to see what is in this chest, and it's just 20 rupees. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. And they don't have the mirror to get out of here. They have the red mail. DT is taking lots of damage here. So this might save him some time over Felix with this Death Warp.
So now we're going to get to see, yeah, because they wanted to check Spiral Cave now. And with the boots, that's going to be a lot better than having to check it earlier.
Quite convenient. Alright, so what are we going to find in Spiral Cave? If we don't find any progress here, we still have, like, all of the eastern area. We can now do Bonk Rocks. Obviously, we can get the Moon Pearl, and we could potentially do some fake flippers and head over to Waterfall Fairy Cave and stuff like that. That is a sequence break, but could be something interesting to do.
There is also the back of Sahashala's house as well.
Mm-hmm. Looks like DT wants his Moon Pearl right away.
Yep. Felix, instead saving quitting to Sanctuary, probably going to be checking Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, this is a solid play. It's a quick item. And it's something you can easily forget if you put it off.
Yep. Oh, just 20 rupees, though.
And I think DT wants to do it, too. He's realized.
So I think Felix now probably going to be heading to get his Moon Pearl. It's interesting how these runners are still, you know, there's still different things that they can do, like going to Sahashala, checking Eastern, but they're They're kind of going along similar paths here. I feel like next is the Sahasrahla / Eastern check. That seems to be the place to go.
Yeah, it's the most dense of all the areas left in the game. In fact, I think from DT's perspective, it might be the only in-logic area for him to go.
Yep, because he did check Agina's cave, so whereas Felix currently has not. So Felix not aware that there's nothing really of value there. Oh, no longer needing a fake flipper. We found the flippers in the back at Sahasrahla's house, as well as our first bottle, which will allow us access to Sick Kid.
I think DT's going straight to Sick Kid. It's such a quick check off of the flute. This flute is paying dividends right now for these guys. And we do learn that the green pendant is in Misery Mire.
So DT picking up Sick Kid's heart here. Or piece of it. As Felix is looking ahead into Eastern.
Alright, this is a big route divergence. Going through a whole dungeon without the bow, which is required for this dungeon. For Felix versus DT heading to all these flippers locked locations, at least logically.
Well, they did pick up the flippers in Sahasrahla's house.
No, well, that's...
Yeah, I get it.
Getting at.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. So, we're about to see two different items here. A heart container for Felix. And what is the hobo gonna have today? Ooh! The bug net.
Hey, they have a bottle already. That's not too bad.
Yep, it's a nice safety item. My favorite item for swagging him.
Well, if they find a sword upgrade or the cape, then that may become a reality. But for now, we'll just have to see. And Felix has already found 2 items in Eastern Palace. One was the full heart, and the second was 20 rupees. There's only one more item in Eastern.
Another bottle for In the Name of DT, picking up a bee in the Waterfall Fairy Cave.
Gonna have to save that for a Mothula fight or something.
Bomb inventory upgrade on the ledge for Zora, so one more item to check over here for DT, and then we might see him save and quit and head towards Eastern. So
Felix found the big key and found the map in the big chest, so he's gonna have to check the vanilla big key location, which is a little bit out of the way, but you gotta do it at this point.
Yep. Oh, and DT getting swindled by Zora. Only 20 rupees for his 500. Bad return on his investment.
So I guess our progression is here in Eastern.
I'm thinking that it's right through this, yeah, right through this door here.
It's gotta be like gloves or, I don't know, some fetch quest.
Oh, fetch quest it is! We're going and digging, guys.
I haven't said anything. Oh man, let's dig up some dreams, Felix.
Alright, so here it is. Are we gonna get a glove or a sword? Oh, Felix opting to flute over, probably to check the bottle as well as potentially all the flipper locations that DT just checked.
Yeah, he might turn in his bottle and then just walk south or run south. That's pretty good routing to head to the shovel location. Yeah, he's got a shovel out. So we'll get to see exactly what this is.
Alright, it's gotta be, I believe it's gotta be either gloves or a sword upgrade at this point.
Or it could be another fetch quest. We could see powder.
The bow, maybe?
Yeah, it could be bow.
Oh wait, but
no,
bow
I don't think so,
no.
because they got 3 items in Eastern.
Yeah. Cape.
Oh
boy, it's egg time.
Well, Felix still has yet to check Agina. and the Flipper's locked locations. So I think that's what he's going to be doing. He wants to put off that Aga play as much as possible. But that's what we got to do.
Yep. We have the knowledge. Both runners are going to have to do Aghanim.
Well, they have some pretty good equipment to do it, so... And especially that bug net that Felix is about to go find. I'm sure he'll be excited.
Oh, yeah.
He'll realize immediately that that's what he needs to do.
Yep. The seed at that point is just pointing you. It's like, here you go. Here's the swag net. You got the boots. Let's go. Aghanim time it is. And the frustration slashes begin.
Frustration slashes? Those are slashes of joy.
So DT is about to pick up his shovel here. Felix is going to be picking up his, I guess it was a bug in a bottle. A bee in a bottle. There we go.
Yeah.
Bee in a bottle, as well as his remaining items over here. Gonna get swindled by Zora. And then both these runners, again, gonna be fairly close together. Felix just needs to go check Agina's cave.
Yeah.
And he'll be right on par with DT. So still a really close match. It's kind of, the seed is really bottlenecking them into going to Aga.
Yep. And then things start opening up quite a bit, because you can head to Pod and gamble into Pod. You can head down to Hype Cave with that hammer. You can go up north and hookshot across with hammer to head towards Village of Outcasts. So there's going to be some branching paths once we get to the Dark World that will be really interesting to explore.
Alright, looks like Felix here grabbing the hearts. DT's already in Hyrule Castle. The Aga play is being made. So, first one up the tower. Gonna get to see what's on the pyramid first.
That's right, we had a race through Escape earlier, now we're racing through Aga Tower.
Yeah, and I think the stun prize is blue rupees.
That's
so,
not bad.
If you need any rupees, there you go.
DT and Felix making good use of this hammer, their first weapon, to take out all the guards in here.
Felix struggling a little bit with some of the enemies here. Again, the hammer hitbox is a little bit of a pain. It's a little bit smaller, so you have to kind of get in.
Yeah, especially for these enemies that like run at you with the swords, because if you hit them at the wrong angle, your hammer will just bounce off of their swords, and that can be pretty frustrating. So.
Yep.
But these guys are handling it pretty well, and thankfully with red mail, like, the amount of damage they're going to be taking from these enemies is very small. I love that when you get hit with this cursor, like, it turns into, like, the X kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So, an interesting thing about the heart colors that I just want to mention. So at the moment, while these two runners are going up to to defeat Aga, I think this is probably the best time for it. Currently, there are 4 available colors for the hearts, and the first one is, of course, the regular red hearts. Second one is actually Flipper blue. There's Book green and Medallion yellow. So those are the available heart colors, and both taking colors from the actual game.
Yeah, and you'll be able to pick whichever color you want as long as you have a link directly to the randomizer site, and you'll just be able to pick whatever color you want, just like you can pick a sprite.
Exactly. Oh, unfortunately, Felix missing the guard. This might be used to using the blue boomerang in NMG, so sometimes the red one is a little bit faster, making things a little bit more challenging for timing.
Absolutely. And this Aga fight, we're getting a few blue balls, Sakura. This ain't good.
So guaranteed, at least the first one is going to be. Oh, we got swagging him going on here on Felix's side.
I wouldn't do it any other way.
So DT almost through the Aghanim fight, the Aghanim 1 fight. There we go. Now we're gonna get to see what is on the pyramid.
Yeah, and then here's the real, I don't know, test, or I don't know if it's really a test, but interesting part is what are the crystals and what are the pendants. So we got green pendant Mire, as we know, blue pendant Turtle Rock, and then it looks like crystal 6 is in Thieves Town, so that's not too bad.
Yep.
Is that a fire rod?
That is most certainly a fire rod.
Wow.
So that gives Skullwoods the ability to be completed. So without, they don't have, I don't know if DT remembers. Oh wait, no, he's got the hammer. No gloves,
yep.
But hammer in tow. There's, if you don't have the hammer, you can actually jump in the water there. They did get the flippers early on too.
That's right. No mirror to check any of these North Dark World locations, but we can check Bumper Cave, since we do have that cape.
Yep.
Felix grabbing his fire rod. Where will he go? Because you can also route south here to Hype Cave.
So Felix checking the map, getting his information, and DT had gone to Bumper Cave, just found a bomb inventory upgrade, so nothing of significance for him. So instead, got the fire rod, so let's go to Skullwoods.
While Felix is heading to Pod, this is a bit of a risky play, but I like it because, you know, if there's something big here, you get it early on, and your opponent probably will not come here until they have the bow.
Yeah, there is still the option that maybe the bow is in here.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Picky vanilla in Skullwoods. It looks like DT is just clearing like the back half of Skullwoods first.
Yep.
It's an interesting routing choice, because if you get you want to kill Monthula anyways, so if you get one of the items there and you get the other item in the back of Skullwoods, then you don't need to bother checking the front.
Yep. Saves you a bit of time. Felix getting a small key in the first chest, so that gives him more items to check without the bow. If there's anything but a small key in there. Oh boy. Yeah, without the bow, if there's anything but a small key in there, you're locked out of the rest of Pod. So far his gamble's paying off.
So far, so good. If we see a bunch of keys early on here, some of these chests, you know, it's certainly possible that the bow could be somewhere in the back of Pod.
Ooh, but a map there. So Felix is gonna have to hope for a key in the basement here. As DT is heading into the Monthula fight, has a little bit less than half magic for Monthula, but has the hammer again, so...
Yeah, that hammer really is amazing early on here. And those spikes are going to do one full heart of damage, doesn't matter what mail you have, so you have to really watch it.
If you're going to be taking damage in the Mothula fight with Red Mail, you're going to want to be getting up close and personal with Mothula, because Mothula is going to do less damage than those spikes.
Exactly. DT's trying to clutch this out, and he gets it. Felix did find a key down there, so he's able to make progress here. Deeper into Pod.
And with the lamp, we could find something of value in the basement here.
Absolutely. Just a piece of heart there in the Terrapin chest.
DP? Oh my god, DT picking up his first crystal! Oh boy.
And a pair of keys in the rupee room, so that allows Felix to do a little bit more exploration here. Not paying off so far. Only 20 rupees.
Yep. Has a small key, is able at least to go and check these couple chests in here. DT setting up for a death warp. Gets a small key.
So it looks like all our items in Skull Woods are in the front half. So I think DT will be heading there next.
Ooh, the big key though. Felix getting that clutch big key right before the big chest here.
That's great. Doesn't have to come back to this area after, you know, doing the bow lock side or the vanilla big key chest. His reward is the bloomerang. So nothing really paying off there for Felix, but he does have some of it cleared so that when he has to come back, things will be ready for him.
So Felix going back into the Dark World. I feel like at this point he's probably going to be heading towards Skullwoods as well. Depends on how comfortable he is though with fighter sword, hammer, fire rod-ish Mothula.
Yeah, I think the only other option would have been to go south to Hype Cave, which is kind of a quick 5 items. It looks like Felix is trying to figure out what to do here. Oh! The mirror in Skull Woods!
That is an excellent find for DT.
That's huge. I think that gives us access to Swamp Palace entirely.
So DT setting up the bomb jump here to get the big chest. And getting the second item, that's 20 rupees. So he's going to be out of Skullwoods and off to potentially Thieves Town. Thieves Town is in fact a red crystal. So might be something that he's thinking about.
Oh, and he's gonna, use that mirror immediately to check out the graveyard ledge and probably King's Tomb as well. It's a nice play. A convenient location for mirror for doing that.
So Felix is heading up towards Bumper Cave. He's going to see that it's just a bomb inventory upgrade. These enemies, though, giving a bit of a runaround here.
Yeah, those murder dactyls mean business. Those things will just keep coming at you and do lots of damage. But he handled them okay. Hookshot will one-shot each of them. Looks like Felix will get his mirror early here, so that might save him some time later in the dungeon. Unfortunately, the second item is in the big chest, and the big key is vanilla, so probably will be the last thing he checks here. More than likely.
So DT heading over back towards the Village of Outcasts. There's quite a few things to check over here. There's 4 locations inside Thieves Town, or there's 4 items inside Thieves Town. There's, of course, the C-shaped house, which is exactly where he's going now. The bomb hut. as well as the chess game. Finding Bombos, though, we still we don't require any medallions for Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, considering, well, potentially, they are both pendant. So we're not really looking for medallions at this point. We do have the Fire Rod, so it's not going to give us any access to Ice Palace that we already didn't have. But it does make killing...
Think about what we need. What do we actually need? I think we just need the bow. Yeah,
at this point, incredibly enough, we have... well, we might need Cane. Because we still don't know where the big key is in Ganon's Tower. So... I'm wondering, at which point do the racers decide that they're not going to look for the cane?
Sure, we need gloves.
Oh yeah, I guess we don't have any gloves.
I bet all the gloves are in Swamp. I'm calling it.
Oh, Felix being grabbed by the Wall Master. Has to unfortunately do this room again. And has decided, nope, not gonna waste his time. Unfortunately, that's where the big key is, so he's going to have to come back for it. But he does have that blue potion. So
that is nice. Yeah, considering his health is pretty low right now. He can hopefully get to Mothula, get some Fire Rod shots in, and then use the blue potion to replenish his magic and health, and then probably finish him off. But could also use the hammer, like we saw DT do. They do have some nice equipment here. Nothing too interesting in Thieves so far. Kind of just on rails right now, heading through here.
Yep, and getting the small key early. We did get the hammer, obviously, right off the bat, so big chest could have something. So far, just a heart piece. Nothing of significance.
Here comes the Mothula fight for Felix. We'll see how he handles this. Managed to get some extra health there in the back of Skull Woods, and knocking him out with some Fire Rod shots really nicely. Gonna go ahead and use that blue potion.
And nicely done for Felix. That was an excellent Mothula fight.
That was an awesome Mothula fight. I mean, just using the potion and deciding to save the time that way, I think he definitely sped himself up over DT, but he used the potions, which, you know, could come in handy later.
Yep, and DT, unfortunately, without having the glove, isn't going to be able to lift that rock. So killing those enemies in that room will allow you to go through the left-hand door in order to access this bottom area here. So using that to his advantage, picking up the big chest item, unfortunately, just the Quake medallion, which we don't know if there's anything of value in there, in either of those two. We know we can't get the gloves or mitts at either of those two locations. DT going up. Unfortunately, you don't have the gloves. Gotta go around.
I mean, at least Bombos has some value in Ice Palace, which we know we have to complete. But yeah, Village of Medallions. Not very exciting. We see a couple frustration hammers from DT there on that stone.
So DT has the option of using either the sword or the hammer for this blind fight, but only the fighter sword. Again, gotta get a little bit closer than comfort to blind.
Felix obviously unenthused about finding the big key there.
And that means that Felix is going to be getting his 20 rupees as DT picks up his second crystal. third crystal.
Yeah, we had Tower of Hera pretty early on.
Yep.
But, I mean, getting the 5-6 crystal at Eastern is kind of pointless at this point. It might, you know, we still need to find gloves. Like, gloves are kind of a big deal. But again, I think Swamp's a big play here. Still haven't gone to Hype Cave. There's the bow. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
In the brewery.
Potential gloves and mitts as go mode items. That's actually really interesting.
That actually means we're not going to have to worry about Misery Mire and Turtle Rock at all. Or the pedestal.
Yep.
That takes a lot of the game, like, out.
And we still don't know if, Cane of Samaria is in play or not.
That is true. That is fair.
We might need to find that, but that's only if, of course, the Ganon's Tower Big Key is on the right side of Ganon's Tower.
But I like the routing here from DT. He's just cleaned up pretty much all he can in the northwest part of the map. And there's our first glove upgrade in Cave 45. Wow.
Yep. These runners are still going to be looking for a sword as well. So
true.
We still don't know where any of those are.
If they're all locked in Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, this will make for a very interesting situation. But can I get some hype in the chat? We're heading to Hype Cave. I want to see a sword upgrade in Hype Cave. That's what I want to see. Right here. Right now.
Sword upgrade or Titan's mitts. That would be the only thing that would really make this Hype Cave hype. ₹20.
Good start.
Arrow upgrade, 20 rupees. More bombs, come on. Nope, just 10 arrows.
That was a 10 arrow upgrade. That, I mean, that's a little bit better than usual. Okay, it was pretty bad.
And Felix trying to go for the God Pixel. Unfortunately, enemies getting in the way here, making it impossible to get through there.
Definitely. And with bow in hand, DT making the pod and Eastern play, I imagine.
Yep, both of them crystals, both of them required.
This is really fantastic routing from DT.
Absolutely.
Or at least things have been working out in his favor based on these item locations.
So Felix getting that heart piece, gets the heart refill. He was a little bit low on hearts, so I'm sure he's happy to see that. Without powder coming into Thieves Town, sometimes, if you take a lot of damage, especially in Hellway, can make things a little bit difficult later on, especially when fighting blind.
And with Mirror in hand, DT will actually be getting through Pod a lot quicker as well. Felix struggling a little bit with that rock, as DT did there, but realizes, oh yeah, I can just kill all these enemies and open the door.
Yep. That's actually one of the things that I think stumps a lot of newer runners, is not knowing that you don't need the gloves for Thieves Town here. You can just kill those enemies and move on.
It'll be interesting to see what's over on the bow-locked side of Pod, because we haven't seen that, and we haven't seen the vanilla Big Key chest location either. And of course, Helmasaur King himself.
Yep, there's got to be 2 keys on there's got to be, well, definitely 1 key, but I think 2 keys have to be on the right-hand side. because we're still missing. Once Felix finished the big chest, he was out of small keys. So you need one small key to check the door for the big key location, vanilla big key location, one small key for, obviously, Helmosaur.
Right. Or the big key location can have a small key.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So Felix having a little bit of trouble with blind here. But with red mail, it should make this fight. Yeah. Gets it down. Gets the map.
And there's his third crystal. So these guys are tied up, but DT a little bit ahead because he does have that bow. He's checked like a few more locations. But he is kind of reproducing the same effort that Felix already did. So when Felix comes back to pod, he won't have to do very much. He'll just be needing to go to the bow lock side and get those two chests, check vanilla big key location potentially, and then head to Helmosaur King. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, and DT with the bomb jump, or the hammer jump there. Really great job. Picks up the big key and immediately goes back to the chest. Gonna be getting his bloomerang. And Felix picking up his bow at the moment. So I'm interested to see where Felix decides to go next. Probably to go through the south part of Hyrule. And then, yeah, it looks like for a second he contemplated going to go save the blacksmith, but no Titansmiths at the moment.
And as a reminder, we are showcasing version 29 that is soon to be released. And we're kind of doing a cool exhibition match between In the Name of DT and Felix TC, where we are doing the randomized swords option. So Uncle will give you one of 8 different weapons at the beginning of the game that you can use to get through Hyrule Castle. We went through there, we got Hammer, and these guys have been trying to find a lot of these items frantically. Right now, the big item of note is the mitts. We don't know where the mitts are. We need one more lift upgrade.
So we need one more lift upgrade, for sure one more sword, and potentially Cane of Samaria, depending upon where that big key is at Gaddis Tower.
Yep. I think these players are probably not too worried about the sword at the moment, because there's still plenty of game to look for that, but they might be approaching the point where they're getting concerned soon.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that could possibly happen is, like, Book in, I don't know, Ganon's Tower with a sword on pedestal or something, and the other two locked behind sword locations. I guess that would be at the tablets.
Yeah, you could have, like, I don't know, Book on pedestal, which leads to 2 sword upgrades on tablets, but then I guess there's still one more sword upgrade. Or maybe all the swords are locked in T-Rock or something like that, and then Red Cane is kind of some hard to get place. I don't know. At this point, I'm sure they're not too worried. They have plenty of stuff that they can check right now. And with DT having the gloves, that actually opens up some locations as well, like Spike Cave and Catfish. There's some out-of-the-way locations, but they're definitely available.
So DT, in the Helmosaur fight here, has the bow, so once he removes the masks, that's 17 hits, he's going to be able to swap straight to silver arrows, get that hit on Helmosaur, and easily take care of Helmosaur here. Probably mirror back over to Eastern and quickly clear that as well.
Yeah, with Silver's Armos stands no chance here. You do see Felix making the swamp play, and it's a good candidate for having some of these items we're talking about. A lot of items here.
Yeah, 6 items in Swamp Palace. With only Fighter Sword, these guys at the beginning here, they take 2 hits. With all the key sanity going on, I bet everybody's not used to seeing that small key there.
Oh my god, it's vanilla!
Getting the arrow upgrade. I wonder how many, at this point, I wonder how many arrow upgrades they've found. It's been quite a bit. At the beginning of the, at the beginning of this seed, not finding significant amount. I guess
he's trading in his small key for a small key there at the vanilla big key location.
Yep, because he hammer yumped, he still had an extra key.
Right. Sometimes that can just throw your count off, but now he's in Eastern. We have all the items here. It's just a matter of clearing it, and that Pyramid Fairy is probably going to be on his mind soon.
Yeah, and with them already, of course, completing Aghanim, nice little quick teleport there. If they do happen to do, if DT does happen to do the Pyramid Fairy, it's gonna make it a little bit faster. At least save a little bit of time from having to go all the way up there.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely required for them to do that, so, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Looks like Felix has decided to skip the west wing of Swamp and is going towards Argus. Probably going to check all the chests back here, but you see players do this fairly often. Try to gamble on not having to bother with the west wing of Swamp, because it is very, very, very time-consuming.
Yeah, and Felix, you know, with only 1 item of significance to complete most of the game needed. Of course, he does require a sword upgrade still, but where there's 4 swords, you know, the likelihood of finding a sword somewhere else, you know, you can take those gambles. But
oh, speaking of swords! Wow. So Felix is going to pick up the first sword upgrade here. Also grabs the big key from the chest right next to it, which he can open the big chest if he likes, but he's elected to pass that up and go to this other chest here, which only has 20 rupees.
So I think he feels like he's gonna have to come back in anyways to potentially check that like the map and compass, so he might as well leave that until he has to come back, maybe.
Yeah, and if he finds what he needs, the mitts on Argus, then he can just leave.
Yep. So DT, finishing up Eastern Palace super quick, is now going to be heading to do the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, this is an advantage that he has. He has managed to get both 5 and 6 crystals, so as you said, he'll probably be using that mirror to head through the Aga portal and save a little bit of time.
Yep. And with Master Sword here on the Argus fight, each of these puffs require 2 hits with the Master Sword.
And 1 silver arrow will do the trick here to finish off Argus. You just gotta nail that silver arrow right in his eye.
Felix struggling a little bit. There we go.
A map as his reward, but importantly a crystal.
Yep, and DT just finding rupees, unfortunately.
And half magic, though.
Yep.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Half magic's pretty good. Already having completed Skullwoods, it's, I guess, next thing is going to be Ice Palace.
Yeah, once we find those mitts, then we'll be in business for Ice Palace. Catfish could certainly have them, so see DT heading over here now. I think he's trying to put off Swamp as much as he can, because go-moding Swamp can be very, very nice.
So interestingly enough, if Catfish happens to have a sword upgrade, that could be really interesting depending upon where the Titan's mitts are, if Felix doesn't go check it.
Well, it looks like the west wing of Swamp actually has 2 items. So, because we found that compass in the big chest, and Argus did drop the map. So this is well worth a trip over, I think. 2 items. You're already here.
Yep, and I think DT might be making the Spike Cave play.
He really doesn't want to go to Swamp, which I don't necessarily blame him, but this is also quite out of the way. Where else do we have? It's just West Wing of Swamp and Spike Cave? Is that it?
I'm trying to think, but yeah, we've pretty much checked everywhere else at the moment. So it's either in the chest the DT is about to open, or Felix. One of these is going to have something that they need. Whether that be book or... So it's not in Spike Cave, so it looks like Felix is going to be coming across something pretty good soon.
Yeah, it's either, you know, mitts or some fetch quest or like book or something that leads them to desert, and then, oh man.
Oh, not there.
Not there. Oh,
there it is. Titan's mitts in the last chest in Swamp. So at this point, they're kind of in like Schrodinger go mode here, because potentially in go mode, but still missing that cane. Oh, potentially.
That red cane factor is huge.
Yeah.
Like, if that comes into play, that could be absolutely crazy.
I feel like at this point, though, they're probably just gonna go mode everything, because I don't know, there's only what, 5 chests on the right side?
Yeah, that sounds right.
But honestly, any of those 5 chests could have the big key. That's the big thing.
They definitely can. But the good news is, you know, they get to stay out of all the pendant dungeons. Like, they don't have to worry about any of those things. This isn't Key Sanity. You're not gonna have to do any weird double dips. But I guess if you try to go mode everything and the red cane is required, then we're gonna start hunting outside of Ganon's Tower.
Yep. So I wonder if either of these runners are gonna go mode Ice Palace. It's a nasty dungeon to have to come back to. Oh, Felix missing the last of the mimics here.
Yeah, maybe we'll see them check just some of the chests along the way, like the Freezor chest, or maybe like the first chest in Ice.
Yeah, the compass chest would be something. Fun fact, we have all the medallions.
We do indeed. Wow. And they may not be worth anything. I mean, Bombos will be handy at least. But... Yeah.
But, I mean, Canis Maria cannot be on the pedestal.
It can be inside of Mire.
Yes.
Like it is in the vanilla game. But that's
that is true.
About as far as it can go. But we have all the medallions, so we're not really worried about that. We just don't want to do it. Let's see if DT decides to make this play to West Wing or not. It appears like he's going for it. Because from his perspective, he's actually missing 2 items. He's missing a sword upgrade, and he's missing the mitts, both of which are here.
Yep.
And it wouldn't hurt to have Tempered Sword. That can really speed things up as well.
So it looked like Felix was gonna grab that magic, but then realized, oh wait, I have full magic already. Alright, so Felix is heading into the Helmasaur fight, then going to be mirroring back over to, of course, the Eastern Palace boss. Well, not the boss, but over to Eastern Palace in order to complete the boss. And then it'll be interesting because about that same time, DT should be about finished Swamp. And it's going to be a race through Ice Palace.
Yeah, and the decision on, what chests to check, or if you just go mode it and believe in Ganon's Tower, all that kind of stuff is going to start coming into play. I mean, these guys are going to be neck and neck. It's actually really close. I think DT had a little bit of an advantage, but he decided to go to Catfish and Pyramid Fairy and Spike Cave, and I think that kind of equalized these guys.
Yep, and with Felix having already checked basically all of Pod, when DT went through it and cleared it, Felix is just able to go right back in, not having to check everything again. And being in go mode, not having to go back and check that one big key, the vanilla big key chest.
Right, and if he was counting, you'll know that that's a key as well, because he did not bomb jump. So DT does have his mitts. He's probably still going to be hunting around for his sword, because these items are pretty easy to check here at the back of Swamp. I expect him to. Yep.
Master Sword and Big Key chest side by side, or yeah, Master Sword and Big Key chest side by side here. So it'll be interesting. This be the deciding factor here. Make sure you go south. Oh, don't you dare, DT! Oh, he might be checking this just to see if it's a sword.
Or if it's the big key.
Yeah.
And then go back.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
He's going back.
Oh my god, DT. Don't you dare give me a heart attack like that. How dare you?
Now the question is, like, if he goes to Argus directly, instead of checking the big chest, he will save some time. He won't have to check the big chest because you'll know it's the compass.
Yeah, exactly.
But Felix is almost done here with Eastern, so he might be the first one into ice.
And Felix quickly clearing the Armos Knights, getting the compass, and his second to last crystal. One crystal remaining as DT's heading into the Argus fight here.
Felix just checking his item count there. He's going to be fluting to 8, I think.
Yep. So again...
Into the fridge we go.
Again, both these runners are so close together. It's really not, Ooh, Felix
he's
is
leaving. Oh, he's gonna
probably get potions. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
That actually gives DT a little bit of time to catch up as well. Felix does have a little bit of extra rupees right now, so definitely a good option.
Yeah, we'll see if that safety comes into play. I mean, DT does have half magic, and Felix does not, so having those potions is pretty nice. But these guys are going to be entering Ice Palace at pretty much exactly the same time. So I think it's just execution and what chests you're going to check to see if you want to find that red cane or some sword upgrade or something like that. That could make a huge difference in this race.
Or you could just gamble that another sword upgrade is in Ganon's Tower and go for it. But it's the Cane of Samaria. That's the big factor here. What is it needed? Is it not?
Agreed. And there's so much of the world available to them now that they have mitts. Like, they've just scratched the surface. Like, when they go up Death Mountain, you know, maybe they'll check Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave, potentially. Because those could be some quick item locations. But it's tough, because there's Smiths, there's Mire area, there's so many things they can check. And you can see Felix here looking at this first chest in ice and finding the big key. And DT is skipping it.
Yeah, this'll be really interesting.
If there's a sword upgrade or the cane in that big chest, this could be a big deal. Look at these guys, they're in the same room.
This is so crazy. This is like the last crystal dungeon. Both the runners in the same room, in the same dungeon, of course. But you know, it's really gonna be close. This is really gonna be close. Felix is not going to bomb jump. Oh, it is going to bomb jump, sorry, because he hit this. Yeah, he did hit the switch the other way, like DT did. Struggling a little bit with the setup for the bomb jump. DT already threw it.
Yeah, DT does take the lead here. But that looks good.
Yep.
Felix is through. And Felix is probably going to be checking some of these items and that DT will not be checking. Okay, I think he is going for the Freezor room, though. It's on the way. It makes a lot of sense.
Alright, just a heart piece.
It's one of 3 items in ice.
So, of course, DT not going to be checking the big chest because he did not get the big key from the first chest there.
All right, this is a big deal. This big chest right here could determine this race. Just a small key.
So, interestingly enough, Cold Stare, if Cold Stare has a small key, that could actually be really useful information, because that means that the Cane of Samaria can't be in this dungeon. Alright, what does Cold Stare have? Compass! Ooh.
Ooh. So we may have to come back here. We don't know, but we may have to come back here.
Felix using the sword beam strats on Cold Stare, saving a little bit of magic. Unfortunately gets hit by the ice falling from the ceiling here, but does have blue potions if needed. With red mail, this fight is not as terrible as it is with green mail.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably feeling pretty safe, but, you know, with Master Sword, you gotta get a lot of hits in.
Yep. And DT heading up now towards Ganon's Tower, and with this being standard mode, you guys know what that means. It's the Ganon's Tower big key guessing game.
I'm excited. We're back to guessing game land. I love this.
Get those Ganon Tower big key chest guesses in chat. 1 to 22. Which chest do you think the Ganon's Tower big key is going to be in?
I'm going to go with number 6 if you did the right side first. But I can't. So I guess it has to be like 20. What do you think?
I always go with chest number 7.
Lucky number 7, we'll see it. And as I said, DT is checking these chests here in Super Bunny on the way up. which makes a lot of sense. If you can find a sword upgrade quickly, or the red cane, it can be a huge advantage.
Yep, and maybe Hookshot Cave even?
It's not a bad play. He's going for it. It's quick. 4 items.
₹300. Man, every time they open one of these chests, it's like, oh boy.
Now, do you go check Ether?
That's what I was thinking.
Ganon's Tower?
You know what? I think I would check Ether. But it's right outside Ganon's Tower. That's the thing. Is if you could just skip it, and then if you don't find what you need, you could go back for it just to see,
right.
But
see Felix checking these chests as well.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, he was checking more chests in Ice Palace too.
Yep. All right, so here we go. First couple chests. Heart container. Big
oh,
key!
Wow! The big key is right there. So nice. Just has to get a small key from down here, and DT is in go mode. I guess Felix is too.
Yep.
But he doesn't know it.
So, getting the one small key here is gonna lead him safely up the tower. Wow, that is something.
Yeah, if you guess 2, you are the winner. Now, this is also going to put these guys to the test with a Master Sword Ganon if they don't end up finding a sword upgrade at the top of the tower here.
And Felix also going to the right here, going to be getting it on the first chest.
I'm sure both of them are very relieved to find that there.
Oh yeah, that the cane missing, I think is like a huge stress. Knowing that you don't need to go find it, that's actually really nice.
It's a big deal. Alright, Felix is on the way up now. DT entering the gauntlet, gets a lucky fairy there, or is attempting to get one. There we go.
Oop. Beamos, not having any of it. So, interestingly enough, I just want to point out that DT does, in fact, have half magic, whereas Felix does not. So that could come into play later on, maybe Landmo fight or other instances. DT is able to really use his magic all the time. Whereas Felix is going to have to be a little bit more conservative.
He has to watch his health right now. Oh, no!
I think he's got a fairy. No!
Oh, wow.
No.
He has 2 blue potions. I know he went and bought them and didn't need to use them in Ice Palace at all. But that's not going to lose him too much time, but the gap widens between him and DT.
Yep. And at this point in the game, any second count.
It really does.
So Felix having to be a little careful again. Is that 3 hearts?
Yeah, DT's almost at the top of the tower here. Oh, it's down to 1 heart again. Come on, Felix.
But as long as he doesn't take damage here. Okay, so he's going to opt to use one of his blue potions.
See DT checking these chests here at the top for a sword upgrade. There's a small key.
So Felix gonna be picking up this fairy that one of the enemies just dropped. And I think DT's just gonna grab, ooh, unfortunately just bombs.
One more chest could have a sword upgrade here. Otherwise, it's gonna be Master Sword Ganon with silvers. But, you know, those first couple phases are gonna be a bit tricky.
Yeah, Gauntlet giving Felix a little bit of a hard time here. Enemies do not seem to be cooperating. Like we were saying earlier, DT able to use the Fire Rod really efficiently. Unfortunately, Felix, not having half magic, isn't able to do so. But Moldorm 2 chest, unfortunately just holding a bottle with a B.
Vitor making another guest appearance here at the end of the game.
Alright, so we're in the Aga 2 fight for DT. Felix just finishing up land mode 2. DT gets a double on the first.
Oh, almost a double, but Aga just disappeared right at the last second.
So without the cane, you get some interesting strats here in the Wizrobe room.
Yeah, you really have to reconsider your strategies. But silver arrows will do the trick. Aga 2 down for DT. It's just a Ganon fight away from a victory.
Yep. Felix gonna be heading over to the torch rooms here. Alright, and in the name of DT, currently in the Ganon fight, needs to get a bunch of spins off here.
Really careful with health. 3 hearts?
Yep.
This is scary. If you walk into Ganon, you're dead.
So he needs 12 spins here. Ooh, that trident even. Pretty deadly, so he has to be careful. Whoop, whoop. Using the bonk there as some iframes just in case. So pulling out the cape, he does have a blue potion. So this will be nice for him, getting a few extra hits down at the bottom here. When Ganon's against the wall, you're going to be able to get double. So it's only a couple hits away now from...
Felix with the fall there. He almost had Trolldorm down.
Oh, and unfortunately a second fall. Moldorm is just not cooperating with Felix today.
It's not working out. But DT is kind of getting the runaround by Ganon, getting all those fire bats to appear. But he's doing all right.
Yep, let's go of the B. Unfortunately, he did not get the hit off on Ganon. Kind of poked him with the sword instead.
Yeah, the swarm has been unleashed upon Ganon. And here we go with our silvers.
Whoop.
Oh!
Whoop. Be careful. Oh, and the triple.
The swag.
In the name of DT, killing Ganon with his bee friends here.
The bees made all the difference.
Absolutely.
And in the name of DT, we'll finish up with an official time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 22 seconds. Congratulations to In the Name of DT. Barely winning this race. Felix is at Aga 2 right now, so this has been an extremely close race through and through.
Wee. What a text.
I just think it's funny that there's a mouse cursor there. It's like you feel like you want to click on one of those
trust me, the entire time I've been sitting here going, oh, gotta get my mouse cursor off the screen. Oh wait, no. All right, Felix now in the Ganon fight. So we're gonna see again 12 spins per phase. Who gets unfortunately misses that one.
Yeah, but the key to this fight is slow and steady.
Yep.
You know, taking damage can really cost you.
Speaking of which,
I shouldn't have said anything.
So Felix starting on the second part of the Ganon fight here. Is going to be getting a few spins off. Ooh, unfortunately taking some damage from the fire bats. I think he still does have a blue potion.
I think he might even have a fairy as well. That
Oh,
he
yes.
caught in the gauntlet. So he's pretty well equipped for this fight.
Yep, he can use the cape. If he starts to run low on hearts, he does have that option. They did pick up... Ooh. Speaking... Oh! Speaking of running low on hearts. Felix down to 1 heart here. I think has moved him to the... Nope, still hasn't moved him to the next phase. I think a couple more hits here, and Ganon will be moved to the 3rd phase. Doing a very nice, doing a very nice job of dodging the fire bats here. Getting a couple fire bats as well. So 1 more spin needed. Gets it.
Whew.
Gets the torch glitch Ganon right on his behind here.
2 more shots should do it.
Last shot, final shot remaining. Lines it up and GG.
GG to Felix TC. Man, this was actually a really, really close race. You know, like, just a couple of execution errors there at the end. But at the same time, like, Felix was making the plays. Like, he went to Swamp, and he managed to get the mitts and the sword upgrade before even going to the Eastern and Pod area. And I think that paid off and gave him a little bit of a nice advantage. So it was really nice to see kind of the lead switch back and forth throughout the race. GG to Felix.
Yeah, and we do have our winner in the name of DT in here with us right now. Congratulations, DT, on your victory.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was really, really well done. I have to say, this race was great. Oh my goodness. You guys were in the same rooms at the same times. Hello, Felix, as well. GG.
Hello.
On
Felix, yo. GG, bud.
GG. That was fun.
That was, actually. I mean, I don't know, without much depth, I guess. That seed was, it just felt like a fun seed.
It did. I feel like if I had executed just a little better, we would have tied. Just a little better.
I'm really, really happy with how close this was.
You have no idea.
Yeah, you guys were literally like in the same room in Ice Palace, and you know, Felix was checking a couple extra items, which that might have put you like a little bit further behind, but it was still like really close because you went in there first. So it was, you guys were like neck and neck killing Cold Stare.
Oh wow,
it was crazy.
That's awesome.
It really was. You guys were both killing the big Stalfos guys with with the bombs at the same time, and I was just it was definitely something. Nice uncle text, by the way. Stop hammer time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here on the credit screen. So interesting fact, I guess the uncle now tells you what he gives you in the credits.
Yeah, I was speculating on that as soon as I saw that it said hammer time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, what did you guys think of, V29 and finding something different than a sword at the uncle?
I think we got the absolute best case scenario out of what could be there.
Yeah, that was much better than having to deal with, 10 bombs or something like that.
Yeah. It definitely got the nice damage boost for Mothula. DT heading pretty much straight to Skullwoods once getting into the Dark World. Felix opted to go to Pod and check a few of the chests there. Pod not yielding anything really of value, but Mirror in Skullwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, typically I avoid Pod when I don't have the bow, but it's kind of screwed me over in the last few races, so I changed up how I routed, and that also screwed me over.
Yeah, this Rando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been no, honestly, this race was really fantastic. Yeah.
What are you guys thinking about the Red Cane situation? Sorry to interrupt, but I'm really curious. Like, were you guys thinking about that Red Cane locking away that big key in Ganon's tower the whole time?
Yeah, totally. That's why I was checking more things in ice. I'm like, okay, if it's one of those things on my way in ice, then and I don't grab it, I'm just going to be kicking myself later.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same thing I was thinking. I checked one or two extra things, and that's exactly why I took the Super Bunny path up to Ganon's tower. Just
Did
to
you do
check that.
Hookshot Cave too?
Yeah, I checked that and Hookshot Cave just to make sure.
And then getting the book in Hookshot Cave. Did either of you think about checking Ether before heading into Ganon's tower?
I was gonna do that right after if I needed to go right side.
That would have been smart. I just totally was like, nope. It wasn't in Hookshot Cave. Tunnel vision, we're gonna go do it. And then
Yeah, why not?
first chest.
But that big key placement, though.
First chest? Oh, hacks. It was second chest for me.
Oh. Well, you were probably there first, so it was...
Yeah, no, it was definitely something that we were thinking about the entire time, whether or not both of you were in go mode. Because not finding the cane was definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty much treating it as Titan's mid is going to be go mode because I assume the things I check along the way will have a sword. And then finding the one in Swamp just made it that much better, and I was like 90% calling it go mode at that point. Yeah, it's always in your mind though.
Interestingly enough, at that point, so you were avoiding Swamp like the plague.
Mm-hmm.
DT. So you had completed all the overworld stuff, Eastern pod, and everything else, so that you could have checked as Felix was in Swamp. So we knew that last chest in Swamp had to have something, but it was interesting to watch you guys go completely different ways, and still you get kind of bottlenecked at the exact same point.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. It was really interesting. The same thing with your light world routing, guys doing different things, but eventually, you both were in Aga Tower at the exact same point, heading up towards Aghanim. So
I kind of realized while I was in the tower that I forgot Agana, and I was freaking out a bit, and I was like, all right, if it's gloves, I just lost. But luckily it wasn't.
Yep.
Super though. Hey DT, did you remember how to do the Wizroad rooms without the cane? I didn't.
I don't know what the optimal strategy for that would be, so I just kept the fire rod out and just kind of went for it.
I just walked into a hole. I thought that would work.
Oh,
So
One of the big differences, I guess, between the two of you is, I guess DT went and checked the Pyramid Fairy, and that did have half magic, which
Ooh.
played a decent role in the Ganon's Tower climb. So I think that's kind of what put him over the top to being able to use Fire Rod there.
yeah,
That
I
makes sense.
knew I had a blue potion. I wasn't too concerned about magic consumption as a result.
yeah, it definitely made your execution in Ganon's Tower a lot faster. So, yeah, it was... Honestly, you guys have to watch this race back. It's so good.
Seriously, it's amazing.
You know what? I just have to say it real quick because I'm at that point in the credits. We have a working flute timer, the best change of V29.
Oh, one thing I totally caught was like when I picked up the small key in the chest in Zelda's cell. I was like, oh, that seems new. Unless I've just totally missed it the entire time I've played Standard. That felt different. I don't know if that's a thing though.
I believe it could have always been there in Standard.
Cool. Then I just don't pay attention, I guess. I know at some point I'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't exactly remember if...
I want to say it was possible before, but it's been a while.
That's fair.
Because I think that you can't... Like, in standard mode, because you can't push that mantle out of the way... It's just been so long since everybody's played Standard, honestly. You can't push the mantle out of the way, so you can't actually use the small key on the door that you could potentially soft lock yourself in open mode.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Fair enough. Interesting. P29 is fun though. That was actually a PB in open or like in rando.
Nice. Way to go then.
Congrats.
GG.
I know it felt very, very refreshing to be entering Ganon's Tower at 80 minutes instead of like 2 hours.
Yes.
You didn't have to go into any pendant dungeon, and two of which were Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, so that probably had something to do with it, but it was still amazing to see your routings. Like, they were on point.
Yeah, that's actually why I was hesitant to go to... well, not so much hesitant to go to Swamp specifically, but in a sense it's a good thing then that I found the Titan's Myths so late, because if I had found them earlier, like after Pod, that might have opened up a lot of those Titan Myth blocked possibilities that otherwise I wasn't able to really get to, since that was essentially Go mode.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of the game that was blocked in this case behind Titan's Myths specifically.
I have to say, Titan's Myths being the Go mode item is pretty nice.
That might be a first.
Yeah, it's definitely more unique.
Yeah, because you can't dip into Ice Palace, you can't dip into Turtle Rock, you can't dip into Misery Mire without the Titan's Myths. So if your last item is Titan's Myths, it kind of knocks out at least 3 dungeons, plus all of Dark Death Mountain, and yeah, makes for an interesting situation.
But you can imagine if that red cane was required to get the big key in GT, the search would have opened up so much. There would have been like a third, there were multiple bottlenecks, and then suddenly there's kind of another open game for you guys to explore. That would have been absolutely crazy.
Oh,
That would have
sure.
been so stressful.
Actually, Felix, that makes me curious then. If it had gotten down to that, and we needed to go to Right Side G Tower, and the cane wasn't in G Tower or Ether Tablet since it's right there, where would you have gone first?
I can tell you not Turtle Rock. I probably would have gone Mire. Because Mire is butts. And anytime something is important is in a pendant, it's usually like the Mire you don't need. How about you?
That would have been a strong consideration, but Ice Palace was still on the back of my mind. Because I just skipped almost everything in that dungeon.
Yeah, that's fair. That's one of those alright, I checked enough. If I didn't find it, I'll go there last again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interestingly for Ice Palace, sorry, Alucard.
You're good. Go ahead, please.
For Ice Palace, Felix, you cleared out the room with the compass chest, vanilla compass chest, which had the big key in it. So DT skipped that one. So at the time where you guys were doing the Ice Palace bomb jump, that was kind of where I guess things started to change. DT, without having the big key, didn't get the big chest. You had gone to get it, Felix, unfortunately not yielding anything, but it was like a little bit there. Kind of made a little bit of a difference too.
Yes, and then that unfortunate death too. There was a bunch of execution stuff.
I had my own share of that too.
Oh, good.
It was
Good.
really back and forth between us, though.
Good. At least then when we watch the VOD, we can both cringe together.
Deal. One other question. I mean, I found it really peculiar. There was something about that top left corner that Aga 1 just seemed to really, really like.
Yeah.
He respawned there like 3 times in a row.
I tried to net him.
Did you wanted to put him in a bottle?
Yeah, well, I did net strats because I was like, that was still in my mind as I was like, oh, I forgot Agnes Cave. That's definitely where Gloves is. All right, I'm just gonna net. We're gonna have fun since I feel I've already lost at this point.
Well, what else do you have if you don't have fun?
That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You guys had certainly an amazing and fun race. Like, this was a treat.
Yeah, it was definitely something great to commentate. It was a lot of fun to watch, and turns every moment. Like it was honestly super fantastic. A great race.
Good.
So, again, for those of you who are joining the chat late or who had not been here at the beginning, this is the quote-unquote new standard mode, where the website is no longer going to have mode as a randomized setting. Instead, there's going to be 2 new settings. One is state and the other is swords. In the state setting, you're going to be able to choose either standard or open. Again, standard being where you rescue Zelda, go through the escape to end the rain state, and open where you start in Link's house or sanctuary and the rain state has already ended. And your sword setting, you can choose either Uncle Assured, that's where the uncle will always have a sword, and of course the other 3 are randomized. The second option being randomized, which is what we showed today, where all 4 swords are randomized into the item pool, and then swordless, of course, where there is no sword. So with those new options, I guess, that leads actually 3 new combinations of seeds that you can do. So, of course, the open mode standard swords would allow people to play open mode, but you're guaranteed to have a sword at Uncle, which would be a new feature. The standard state with randomized swords, which is what we had today, where this allows the Uncle to give a weapon to clear escape other than a sword, specifically either a sword upgrade, hammer, bow, bombs, fire rod, cane of Samaria, or cane of Burna. And then, of course, standard state swordless, where it's basically the exact same as above, but obviously with no swords, period. So it's a fun little bit of things that we showcased today. I'm hoping that everybody enjoyed it. I know I did.
Oh, I had a blast, and I mean, that's just part of what's coming in version 29. As you can see, we have some brand new sprites, and there's a host of different sprites available coming in version 29. And in addition to that, there's going to be an awesome new mode. You may have seen it out there. It's called Retro Key Sanity. But maybe we'll do some exhibitions or something of that in the future. That could be cool to show off.
I believe there is an exhibition for that one planned for next weekend. So, for those of you who have not, we do have a link to the Past Randomizer Discord that you can join. If you type in !Discord, or actually the Nightbot literally just posted it. You can join the Discord. There'll be announcements on there. You can also check the link to the Past Randomizer Twitter account, which will also, I'll link actually that in chat, which will also announce when that's going to be going live. And yeah, there's, for those of you who are asking the serious question, when is version 29 coming out?
Yeah, Saku.
The answer, my friend,
Saku. When?
is soon, TM. So please look forward to it. We might have a little bit of more information maybe the next time. We'll see.
Ooh, cliffhangers.
Cliffhangers.
And while we're at this point, I'm just going to throw out a very, very big thanks to Saku and Alu for commentating, for Slim Kirby for tracking, and Clifford for restreaming. Thanks so much, guys, for taking time out of your night to have a good time here with us.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Appreciate
Honestly,
everyone.
I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was so great to commentate this race, to watch it. It was fantastic. You guys did an amazing job, and it was very, very, very wonderful to commentate with the great Alucard.
Well, it was a pleasure. This is really entertaining and fun, and I had a blast. So thank you guys for an excellent race, and again, thanks to the guys behind the scene, Slim Kirby and Clifford, for an awesome job there, and of course Sakura, my awesome co-commentator. It was great.
Thank you again so much, and thank you again, Slim Kirby. Can't do these without our fantastic trackers. So shout outs to Slim for being absolutely fantastic on the ball. That tracker was never out of date, have to say. It was perfect. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys next week.
See ya.